Hello, hello, hello! Welcome back to the Remote Learning Music Classroom with me and my good pal Zombie. Last week we started learning about some different musical instruments from the orchestra. Remember, we took a trip with our friend George, and we learned that there are 4 different families of musical instruments. There's the brass, the woodwinds, the percussion, and the strings. And so I wanted to test your memory today and take you on a tour of some of those instruments, give a little refresher, and see what we remember. Before we do that though, let's see if we can remember how to sing our warm-up song. All right, so I'll count us in, and we're just gonna go right into it today. I wanna see what we remember from Monday. Here we go, que llueva. 1, 2, here we go. Que llueva, la rana está en la cueva, los pajaritos cantan, la luna se levanta, que sí, que no, que caiga un chaparrón. All right, I hope you enjoyed singing along with me, and if you're ready, I'm ready. Come on, let's take a tour of our instrument families. Let's go. All right, so we are going to start with the brass family, and I thought I would show you one of my favorite instruments, the trumpet. So this is called a brass instrument because of a couple things. First, brass is the type of metal that this is made for, and it's a nice, cool gold color. But the other thing that makes brass instruments special is this mouthpiece. And this is where the sound really comes from. So in order to make a sound on it, I want you to join me in trying this, okay? We're gonna do what we call buzzing our lips. When we buzz our lips, we're gonna press them together and then blow air through them so it sounds like this. Can you try that with me? 1, 2, ready, go. Very nice. And then when we put the mouthpiece on, it sounds like this. Very, very fun. But when we want it to sound nice and beautiful, we plug the mouthpiece into the trumpet, and then we get a nice sound like this. Lovely. So I'm going to show you a short scale, which is basically just a series of notes that go from low to high. Okay. And now let's hear a short piece of music on the trumpet. All right, so I thought it'd be nice to play a familiar song on this instrument. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be reading the music off of this page. And as you'll see, we are using a combination of TTs and Tas and maybe some other notes that we haven't learned yet. Yeah. Without any further ado, here we go. I think you'll recognize this one. And there we go. That is the trumpet. I hope you enjoyed. Right now we have the flute. The flute is a woodwind instrument, and what that means is most woodwind instruments used to be made of wood, although you see that now this one's made of metal. And the important thing is that you have to use your wind or your breath to make a sound on the instrument. Can everyone show me their breath? So in order to make a sound on a flute, all you have to do is pretend like you're blowing across the top of a bottle. So if you have a water bottle or a soda bottle at home, you can practice with me. So right across the top, if you just blow air right across the top, you can make a sound almost just like on the flute, like this. All right, now you've got your very own homemade flute. Very cool. So on the flute, in order to change notes, you press down a series of all of these little keys here, similarly to on the trumpet. And so I'm going to show you a scale just like I did on the trumpet, on the flute here, going from low to high. And you can watch my fingers as I change the notes. And that is how you change notes and play a scale on a flute. All right, and here is another quick demonstration, this time of the same familiar tune on the flute. Was the flute. Hope you enjoyed. Okay, so now we're going to talk about instruments from the string family. And as you might have guessed, in order to be a member of the string family, you have to have keys? Sticks. You got it. It was strings. So the cello has 4 strings. Just like the ukulele. The thing that makes the cello, as well as instruments like the violin, a little bit different is they also have this fancy thing called a bow. And the bow is basically just a wooden stick, and then on the other side of it, it has hundreds of little horse hairs, believe it or not. And when you pull those hairs across the string, makes the string vibrate, and that's how you get your sound. And this big wooden body just kind of helps to make the vibrations get nice and loud for us. So when you play a scale, or when you play any notes on the cello, what you have to do is with your other hand, with your left hand, you press down on these strings, and that changes the notes for us, which is also similar to the guitar and to the ukulele. So let's hear what a scale sounds like while I use the bow and my fingers to change the notes. All right, so here is our same familiar tune, but played on a new instrument, the cello. And there we have the cello. Hope you enjoy. All right, and so here we have the percussion family. And what you're looking at right here is a drum kit. Each one of these different pieces is basically its own type of percussion instrument. A percussion instrument is something that you hit, shake, or scrape to make a sound. So you don't use your air like you do some of the other instruments, and it doesn't have any strings. All of these instruments and this whole drum kit are ones that we're going to be hitting to make noise. So I'll show you each one, and then I'll play a little beat on the drum kit. I'm going to use my drum sticks here, and then with a couple of these things like the kick drum, I use my foot. So that's the kick drum. Here's the snare. And then these two are called toms or tom-toms. We've got a high one and a low one. Then we have different types of cymbals, kind of like the ones that we have in our classroom. These are 2 cymbals put together. I can play with my foot or with my sticks. Okay, and then here we have a crash cymbal. And here this one is called The Ride. Pretty cool, right? Now let's see what it sounds like if I play a beat using all these different parts all together. Here we go. And there we have the drum kit, our king of percussion instruments. Thank you very much. Enjoy.